pretty alarming questions about whether or not the CIA helped the entire Tsarnaev clan come in. You may recall that there was an uncle that came out in Maryland and said, my nephews are losers.
That's
and
right.
He was celebrated as a hero for being so outspoken about his two nephews, the marathon bombers. But as it turns out, Ruslan Sarni, that uncle, has ties to the CIA that were very, very, very close. In 2002, when the entire Tsarnaev family came into the country, Graham Fuller was a high-ranking CIA officer, and he happened to be the station chief for a time in Ankara, Turkey, which is exactly where the whole Tsarnaev family got into the United States in the first place.
Michelle, I always thought, when I first heard that story, I thought it was, Alex Jones science fiction. But it turns out,
exactly,
because it sounded so crazy. I just want to repeat for people.
It sounds so crazy. Like, there's so many aspects of this that sound like you need to be fitted for a brand new tinfoil hat.
That's why I pointed out to the audience in the beginning, you are a very credentialed journalist, you're accepted by all your peers, and you've done the hard research here. And I just want to go over that again because it was my first question for you, and I'm glad you led with it. Their connection to the CIA was that their uncle is married to the daughter of the former station chief of the CIA office in Ankara, Turkey.
Which is just coincidentally exactly where the family got into the country from.
And we never hear about that. Except from you, Michelle, we really don't hear about it.
Oh, no, nobody hears about it. And even now that the book has come out, I mean, ironically, the book was picked as the book of the week, Maximum Harm was, by the Intelligence Officers Association, which is the former Intelligence Officers Association. So the CIA took a look at this book, and a retired CIA officer, who is now a Boston University professor, gave the book a glowing review.
We're talking with Michele McPhee.
So clearly, there's a roadmap here that goes right back to the intelligence community.
We're talking with Michele McPhee, who's the author of Maximum Harm, the Tsarnaev Brothers, the FBI, and the Road to the Marathon Bombing. Michelle, I want people to go out and read this book, so I don't want to give the whole story away, but talk a little bit about the Tsarnaev's connections to the FBI.
So what we do know, and this is, again, all in writing, is that the Russian FSB, which is the former KGB, the Russian security services, started to intercept text messages between Tamar Tsarnaev and a Canadian jihadi named William Plotnikov, who was in a terrorist training camp in Dagestan, outside of Dagestan in the Northern Caucasus. So the FBI gets a letter from the Russians saying, hey, we're intercepting these text messages from a guy in Cambridge, Massachusetts. His name is Tamar Tsarnaev, and we think he's going to come to Russia and join the jihad. Well, the FBI claims that when I would interview Tamar, they didn't find any cause for concern whatsoever and let it go, after adding him to one terror watch list. Months later, the CIA here in America gets another letter from the FSB. This one says, hey, we've intercepted messages between Tamar Tsarnaev of Cambridge, Massachusetts, his mother, and his mother's cousin, who is a jihadi sympathizer in a group called Union of the Just. The CIA adds him to a second terror watch list, but no action is taken whatsoever. And what happens in January of 2012? Tamar Tsarnaev goes to Russia, joins the jihad. Only everyone that Tamar Tsarnaev met there, high-level terror targets for counterterrorism officials, were tracked and killed. There was a raid in July of 2012 that killed everyone in one of these terrorist training camps, including that Canadian that the FBI had been warned about. The only person who gets out of the region alive is Tamar Tsarnaev, and he is on a plane back to Boston that very same.
Thanks for watching. And if you would like to get more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button below on the WBSM channel. Subscribe to WBSM, and that way you'll always get the latest videos here from Sunday Brunch and the other wonderful programs on WBSM.